very much. We are at the Mapsa Sports Center now joining the basketball game. One of the biggest rivalry in the basketball history. It's Mbabane Jazz and Mbabane Knicks. So it's one of the two teams. When these two teams play, the city come to a standstill. I'm joined by one specific legend who's played for both sides, and he understands the rivalry between the two sides. Mr. Shiba Nguvu said it this evening. It's a beautiful game. We can't wait for this excitement.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fabrice. You're right. I actually did play in my younger years. I played for the Mbabane Knicks. That's the team in orange, and then I played with the Mbabane Jazz, and I coached both of them, and I coached quite a lot of these kids. This is going to be a very, very interesting game because this is the oldest rivalry in basketball. Both from Mbabane. When I started playing basketball in 1991, they were already in existence at the time. At the time, Mbabane Knicks was a team made up of St. Mark's High School boys, and then the Jazz was made up of mostly graduates from all over. And it has been like that for a long time. Like I said, this is the oldest rivalry, and that just now you just saw that boy Sisekelo Shabalala has hit a three from way downtown. You gotta be worried about that boy. He can do anything. He can take anybody anywhere. But as it is right now, we're going to wait and see. Lwazi is about to respond. These are two of the sharpest shooters in the country. So just like that, that's a three-pointer. It's going to be interesting, Fabrice.
All right. Thank you very much, Shiba. And I think in as far as this fixture is concerned, maybe just highlighting 2 or 3 players to watch from both sides.
Yeah, no problem. So with the Mbabane Jazz team, that gentleman there, the captain Lwazi, the number 5, he's the one to watch. He's like the sharpest shooter in the country. Number 6 from Jazz, Pindel Dlamini, with his brother Njabulo Dlamini. The Dlamini boys have a synchronized game that you can never stop when they get hot. From the Knicks side, you want to watch the the one with the dreadlocks, Bonga Sbanze, number 9, and number 4, Bonga and Bongi, and of course the Segelo that I just talked about. Those are your guys that are the anchors of both teams. The bench at Jazz has a gentleman that also plays, 2 gentlemen that also play in the BNL, which is the South African League, because this tournament allowed the registration of 2 international players. So you've got Mhlongo, Vusi Mhlongo, he's wearing number 15, and Tandognen. Tandognen is actually a local child who now plays the trade in South Africa. He's wearing number 4. It should be very interesting to watch. Right now, the game is being led by Knicks. The rivalry here is such that Knicks has been trying to topple Jazz from the top for a long time. And there was a tournament that they played about a month ago, and for the first time, the Knicks were able to beat the Jazz. And so this is actually a game of grudges. The Jazz are trying to reclaim their glory, and the Knicks are trying to prove that they're actually worth it.
All right. You can hear the noise and the screams from the supporters, like you're hearing it from Mr. Shiba. This is one of the biggest rivalry in the basketball here in the country. And I think, Mr. Shiba, just to give us a short history about this game, as now we're talking about the results so far. I think Knicks is leading.
Knicks is orange.
It's orange, yes. They are leading, I think, 4-3. Yeah. So when you talk about head-to-head, in terms of how they have faced each other, would you say Jazz has got a better history against Knicks, or Knicks the other way? Knicks has got a better history against Jazz. Who has won more fixtures whenever they have met?
So like I said, the Jazz has dominated the basketball scene for over 10-15 years now. Like I said, the last final that they played in another tournament about 2 months ago is where Knicks actually won against this Jazz team for the first time in a long time, which is why it's such a grudge match, because the Jazz are trying to reclaim their glory. They're trying to show that they are still dominant, but you got to understand, the Jazz is made up of older guys, so the experience counts quite a bit. The difference now is that the Knicks team, okay, that was 3 seconds. That means Sam has been sitting in the zone for too long. It's kind of like an offside if you know soccer. Yeah. So what I was saying right now is Jazz is more senior, has older guys that have been playing together for a long time. But the young Knicks has heart, they are hungrier, and they're more athletic. So, and they train a little more, so you are probably going to see a lot more athleticism coming from the Knicks. But the experience always counts for the Jazz. It has always come to help them when they are composed. But when they lose their composure, they suddenly start to look like old men.
Nice one. Okay, there were concerns prior to the tournament to say, most of the teams were not active for the longest time. But I myself, I was worried about the fitness of some of the teams. But looking at this game itself, Jazz against Knicks, I mean, I'm looking at this, the fitness, the speed. I mean, I think both teams are on top of their game.
You would say they're on top of the game at this level, but it's still really mid-level. When this game gets to its highest level, the fitness that you see here is very small. These guys are still trying to claw their way back into fitness. Most of these teams probably have only trained for like 2 weeks before this tournament, so they are not quite fit. What you see right now is not the best that you can get out of Swaziland, but it's better because there have been a few tournaments leading up to this one, so you can kind of trust that they're going to come. I just noticed right now that they are using this boy Sam as the starter because they are usual big man starter. Oh, that's another 3 from the sharpshooter Lwazi. That's 2 for 2 for him right now, which takes the lead back to Jazz at 6-4. I was still saying that you will notice that they are using Sam today. Sam is the one wearing number 10 at Jazz. He is actually a substitute. Their main big man is not here today. He usually is a starter, and I don't know why he's not here. Probably because it's Sunday and the game's changed. They were supposed to be on Saturday. You find that he has traveled or whatever because he's a senior employee at his workplace, and he is also a family man. Yeah.
All right. Now, I want us now, as we're watching the game, officially, talking about the strengths and, of both teams. I'll touch on Bongi at some point. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's one of the, in terms of body and everything, he looks really like you cannot see the skills that he's displayed. But let's talk about maybe the Pinda brothers. What do they offer when they're together in this game? And then maybe counting 1-1. Then we'll talk about Bongi. But the Pinda brothers for now.
So Pinda and Jabulo, the Dlamini brothers, they have been lucky. They went to elite schools in South Africa. So they've been playing basketball since the age of 12, 10 or whatever. They are well trained. They have had a lot of athleticism. If you to remember, Pinda Dlamini also played national team football, I think with Sundowns. So they have a high game mentality. Their IQ when it comes to the game is really, really unequaled. So they know how to connect. When they feel like now they can take over the game, they know where to find each other. As you can see right now, that has been a connection. Just Pinda Jabulo, both Dlamini boys. Now, when you talk about the matchup on the other end, Bonga, number 9 at Knicks, and Bongi, number 4 at Knicks, they also have been playing together since they were like 13 years old. They know how to connect together. They come from different teams. Bongi started with the Knicks. Bonga started with the Jazz. Bonga is the son of the leader of the Jazz. Bonga is the one with the dreadlocks that are tied at the top. I think there's confusion with the score right now. Why it's 7-7, I'm not quite sure. So Bongi and Bonga also know how to attack. They know where to find each other. The only difference with them is that they're still young, so sometimes the other wants to shine over the other. But when they coordinate together, you cannot stop them. That's Bonga right now with a 3. Like I said, he can do anything when he wants to do something. And then Bongi can drive in at any given time. So the driving in is when you get closer instead of shooting from outside. Yeah.
All right. Shiba, obviously, this is really a light question, but obviously we play for both sides. My first question will be to say, where is your heart? Where is your money today in terms of who do you think will go home as the eventual winner? And then maybe my second question is to say, you've played for both sides and you've watched these teams for the longest time. When do you start seeing signs that one of them is going to win the game? When do you see that on the day, who is strong?
All right, so where my heart is, I'm Jazz. I've been Jazz for a very long time. This team that exists right now was part of my captaincy and then my coaching. As I faded out, the other guys took over. The Knicks I played with as a young boy, as they are right now. So the Knicks tend to be a little disorganized when it comes to formations. But over the last year, they have started to work a better game. They are more organized. They try to play together as a team instead of a one-man's game. And then with the Jazz, you can expect that their coaching is, because they've got experience. Their coaches are experienced as well. The players are experienced as well. You can expect them to have an upper hand today. Although, like I said, in the last tournament, they lost. They lost in the last 10 seconds. They lost to the hard-fighting Knicks. And so the Knicks have something to prove. The Jazz want to revenge. Now, when do you get to see the game change? With the Jazz, you cannot expect to win if you have not led a wide score and you get to the fourth quarter. The Jazz use the fourth quarter as their dominating quarter. So if you want to beat the Jazz, you got to win in the first three quarters because they change the fourth quarter. I do not know what it is in their mentality and psyche that happens like that, but they just change the game altogether.
Now, beautiful information coming from you, Shiba. And as you can see, how would you summarize that a short first period we had? Would you say Jazz dominated the game so far? Are they dominating so far? We've seen the qualities from the likes of Bongi, from Knicks, but how would you summarize so far the game?
Look, right now, the Knicks have kept a strong feet. They are looking like they can handle this game. What is happening with the Jazz is that they don't have their usual starters today. They have two people that are not the usual starters. So they are already struggling with that. And that's why you can see them struggling a little bit. But you can be sure that it's going to change a little bit later. And you can see now Lwazi coming in from way downtown. That is 3 of 3. Now he has made 3 attempts of 3-pointers. Like I said, he's one of the sharpest shooters in the country, and the game is tied at 10. So right now you can see that yeah, they're just checking each other out. And I think with the Jazz, like I said, they're still trying to figure out who they can use and who they cannot use and in which formation, because like I said, their usual starters are not here today.
All right, great, good stuff. So far, we're talking about the score. They are both 10-10. So for Jazz, like you highlighted, it's one of the teams with the qualities. Talking about Lwazi, I mean, when you have a player like Lwazi, you must be coming to the game with that full confidence to say, we have what it takes. I mean, within the first 15-20 minutes so far, we've washed. I think, for me, defensively and going forward, I think for me, he's the man of the match so far.
Look, actually, first of all, we've only watched 8 minutes of the game because we're playing 8-minute quarters. They just brought in number 12, Sboniso Kina, also known as Bones. He's another sharpshooter. So right now, you literally have you have got 2 snipers in the Jazz team that can dismantle this defense with their shooting. But I would say at this point in time, the Knicks have maintained. They still are on the lead, with the 12-10 lead. You cannot expect them to just give it up. They're in the finals. They deserve to be in the finals. They defend everything. They stop everything that can, and they. Right. That means they've done a 24-second violation. For those that do not know, you are supposed to have made an attempt that hits the rim within 24 seconds every single time. So right now, as you can see, Bongi is coming up with the ball. They have 17 seconds to score. Usually, a team that is smart makes sure that they run the play until they score in the last second, because that way it means they are keeping the time, they're keeping the ball for longer, they are making sure that they can try and boost the ball until they can dismantle the defense. If you now start shooting with 17 seconds to go, it means you're rushing, and that might be a problem. That is Tando. Tando is coming in from South Africa. He plays in the basketball league in South Africa. Like I said, whenever Bonga has the ball, it is trouble for the Jazz. He is just so liquid with the ball. He does whatever he wants, but sometimes it gets to his head. Now he's been fouled. He's going to go shoot 2 because he was making a 2-point attempt, and they fouled him before he could, so he gets to attempt the 2s with the free throws. And he has missed the first one, which he shouldn't because he's one of the good shooters. But like I said, he's a young boy. Sometimes sometimes, I don't know, they take things lightly. But hey, they're still in the lead and they're doing quite well.
All right, great stuff. So far, the score. As you can see, the two men, we've talked about Bongi as well. I'm looking at the body structure, the height and everything. You wouldn't give them so much credit, but when you see what they display in terms of performance, then it gives you advantage. Nice play by Loazi. If that was Loazi, I'm counting it. It should have been inside.
If it had been Loazi.
Yeah.
If it had been Loazi, he might have scored. But the truth of the matter is that shot was ill-timed. There was already someone coming in to defend him, so he was distracted. You want to take a shot at the right time. You want to take a shot that is well-timed. Right now, they're bringing in number 15. That is Vusi Mhlongo. He plies his trade with a team in the Basketball National League in South Africa. He is the international that has been allowed to be registered because, like I said earlier, this tournament allowed only 2 internationals per team. Now, his size, his body size is very important. That means he can dominate on the rebounds because right now what the Jazz has been struggling with is getting the rebounds on the defensive side. Now, his body size is very useful because the smaller boys cannot really stop him. Oh, that was a nice pass from Pinda. And as you can see, Vusi can go in and do whatever he likes because he's big and the kids can't touch him. You know, when you try to stop him, he gets fouled and he goes to the line and shoots another one. Right. And just like that, with the introduction of Vusi, you can see Nick starting to think, okay, what are we going to do? All right. That is the end of the first quarter. And as expected, the Knicks has brought it to the Jazz with 15-12. We saw a great shining. It was a team effort mostly with the Knicks. And with the Jazz, you could see that Loazi, the captain, number 5, has been taking the leadership as always and always as expected.
Thank you very much, Tushiba. What a great information you just displayed for us, giving us what we want. The history about these two teams, strength, where they're coming from. He's played for both sides, so he's giving us what he understands and what he knows. He knows the both teams' players. He understands that, there is the issue of being the 2 biggest team in the city of Mbabane, not only in the city, but we're talking about the country, Eswatini, basketball at large. So concerns of fitness, we've talked about that. We've also talked about the partnership, some of the players that have been together for some time in these teams. But I tell you what, so far, the first quarter, it's been amazing. I want you to give me the reaction, not based on the results, but performance-wise. Because we might say it's 15-12, but really, when you talk about performance, you could be seeing differently, saying probably Knicks so far displaying it better, or to you, Jazz are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
So performance-wise, I would say the Knicks right now have played as a team that has played together for a longer time. And with the Jazz, like I said earlier, they brought in their 2 internationals that sometimes play in South Africa, and they are missing their original big man. You can tell that the Jazz is still trying to coordinate. They're still trying to find their rhythm together and gel as a team. But the Knicks is already on their flow because they're using the usual players. For them, there's no readjustment. And it's going to be a problem for the Jazz if they don't adjust quickly because these young Knicks are going to be bringing it to them. Nangbongi is going to start going to the rim because he wants to start getting his points. Unfortunately, sometimes it's a problem because then you lose the ball. Right now you've got, like I said, when Vusi gets that ball, most of these children are going to, the young players are going to struggle to stop him because Vusi is literally nicknamed the horse because he is just big and fast and strong. So right now that ball is going to be taken in from outside. And Bones is one of the sharpshooters, but he takes his time to start getting hot. And then when he does, no one can stop him from outside. Right. So right now they've got 4 seconds to score before they can lose the ball by not having scored in 24 seconds. The Jazz have 4 seconds because they've been moving the ball around for the past 20 seconds, and this is the time they should make a basket at the right time, which Vusi attempts, and that's missed. But then that way they don't turn it over, they can get back to defense. Sisekelo Shabalala's got the ball right now, if you want to stop Sisekelo Shabalala, you got to make him go right. Because when he goes to the left, there's nothing that can stop him. He can shoot that three anytime. That is his third attempt at three. He's made 2 of those 3.
Nicely done. Thank you very much, Shiva. And I think I've been monitoring in terms of fitness and everything. When you talk about Jazz, body-wise, the likes of Vusi and Pinda brothers, body-wise, and I think that's what I've also tempted you to name the Knicks as some of these boys, because you look at their body structure, they're still young. Bobongi, they're still upcoming. Would you say it is also playing a key factor in this game? You know, the height and the body size of the Jazz players.
Most absolutely. Athleticism counts, but in this game, if you are bigger, you are more of a threat than a smaller man, right? And when I keep saying these kids, it's because I coached most of them, and so I forget that now they're just their own players. They're no longer just children, you know. Now this is a problem, as you can hear the fans saying, the Jazz should get their own rebounds. It's really bad that they have their biggest guys, but they are not able to get rebounds. That is Bonge now starting with his magic. And as you can see, it's now an 8-point lead. Even though the Jazz look good on paper, these Knicks are bringing it as expected. Now, like I said, Bones is a sharpshooter. That is the second attempt for a 3, and he has already made it and cut the 8-point lead quickly to a 5-point lead. This is going to be a very interesting game. I can see that it will go down to the wire the whole time. And as I had said, Sisekelo can find all of his players. He's a sharpshooter. He can go to the rim, and he is a great passer. He's able to find everyone at the right spot. And right now, his pass has led to a nice foul. And the Knicks are going to shoot 2 with Bongi. The likelihood is he's going to make both of them. So now let's look at that. He's going to go through his rhythm. Take a breath, think about it, get the shot in, made. And now you will note that when he gets the ball, he will do the exact same thing that he did with the first one, because that is how, as a coach now, you go to the same motion. Breathe, and then he'll take the shot again and make both. It's a simple mechanics thing, muscle memory, and he can make those every day until he gets tired. Now, what needs to happen is that the Jazz need to start showing that they are, 1, they are seniors, 2, they are experienced. But the way that they're doing it now, you can tell that they haven't played together in a while. They've got 2 people that they haven't used together in a long time. And so now they're bringing in Njabulo to pair. They've taken out the captain, which is not a problem, because the sharpshooter that they have on now is Bones, which is going to shoot again. But unfortunately, he didn't get it. Right, and Bonge has got the rebound, taking it all the way, and he'll make it.
We talked about Bonge. At some point, personally, you'll give us proper information about him, the talent that he has. I think you coached him when he was still young. But then, I don't know, in basketball, we've seen in other sporting codes, we talk about game plan. Knowing the 2 teams, having played for the 2 teams, can you see the game plan of the coaches here? Starting maybe from the mature ones, Jazz. What's their game plan today?
So, at this point in time, as a coach, I still am not sure what the game plan is for the Jazz. I can tell you that they're looking to just suffocate the point guard, Sisekelo, by making him go right. Because if he goes left, no one can stop him. You can only foul him, or you're going to consider basket. That is the game plan that I know that Jazz will have thought about. Then, when it comes to offensively, defensively, Jazz is struggling. They're not talking to each other, and they are letting these young athletes drive in anytime. And by the time, right, so that is going to be called an offensive foul, because Tando dropped his shoulder and pushed the player out of his way instead of just driving in. So that is going to be called an offensive foul. I was still saying, it looks like Mbabane Jazz doesn't have a defensive game plan. They are not talking to each other on defense. They are not quite sure how to stop these 2 young players. And like I said, all that needs to happen is for these guys to keep going back. And it's a shame for Mbabane Jazz to have such big men and not be able to get the rebounds, both offensively and defensively. Now, with the Knicks, it's a simple game. That's another offensive foul. So in offensive foul, basically what you do is you stand in the way of the player that is charging to the basket. If he touches you and you were not even marking him, it means he came to you and fouled you. So it's clear that the Mbabane Knicks have decided that they're going to go and get the offensive fouls because it stops the offense from the Jazz. The offensive plan for the Knicks is that they are going to go to the hoop all the time. They're going to get the rebound every time. And as long as they get the rebound, they're going to make another basket. Right now, they're bringing in young Wandile Masugu. Is also, well, he's no longer young. Young Wandile Masugu is another former student of mine as well. He is a hard-working player. He works hard. He talks to all the players. He goes for every ball, even if it's a dead ball. So right now, it means they are going to actually be running harder at the Jazz.
Right. There you have it. So far, it's been a beautiful game here. As Shiba has highlighted it, it's the boys against the men. And I've been impressed by the performance of these Knicks players. Age is a factor as well, Mr. Shiba. Would you say, giving an example maybe, from the Knicks players, who's the youngest in this team? And you look at also from the Jazz side, who is the youngest? Then we will start then comparing qualities and expertise.
So right now with the Jazz, you could say that probably Sam or Siboniso Gina are the youngest. Siboniso Gina being the one with the ball right now, shooting for three and making it. Like I said, he's a sharpshooter. He's getting them back in the game. In the Knicks team, I would say the young player is sitting outside. I don't even know his name. He's really young. I don't expect much from him today. If you look at the average age of the Knicks, these guys are in their 20s, and the oldest is probably in his late 20s. With the Jazz, you've got people that are already in their 40s. Lwazi, their captain, is already in his 40s. Vusi is probably late 30s as well. Bonga with a 3. Just to make sure that this game stays away. Now, if you look at that score, 32-18, literally means that this game is getting away from the Jazz. Although some critics and analysts may say, do not expect this game to be over too soon because the Jazz always comes back in the fourth quarter. But like I said earlier, if you want to beat the Jazz, you want to beat them early in the game. Do not let them catch up in the fourth quarter. This is a timeout that's been taken by Coach Lokza Logotwao, one of the legends in basketball. He's calling this timeout because obviously Mbabane Jazz is in tatters and the Mbabane Knicks are bringing it. So you said age counts quite a bit. Yes, athleticism, young heart, the need to win, the need to end the Jazz dominance is very evident with the Knicks. Right now, the Knicks is even missing their player coach, who is a senior player that used to play with the Jazz and knows the game plan. And as they are playing right now, you can tell that they planned knowing what to expect from the Jazz. And right now, the Jazz are looking like they don't know what's going on.
Now, the way you're describing them, I mean, it sounds like they are the Real Madrid of basketball. Jazz being Jazz, one of the top opponents. Now, timeout, 32-18. The margin, would you say it's too big at this point in time? I mean, anything can happen when these two sides meet. From your experience, when the score line is like this at this point in time, does it mean it's over for Jazz?
With another team, you could say it's over. With Jazz, no. You cannot say it's over. Because one thing that could happen is Jazz could change their defense, which they haven't so far. And that's one thing that I worry about with the coaches, is that they should look at what is working and what isn't working. If they were to change their defense, this game, what is the difference? What is 32 minus 18? Right? All right. How much?
14.
Right, 14 points. That's 7 baskets. So only 7 baskets difference. But like I said, it could change any time. And right now, this is what will make Jazz lose. This kind of lack of coordination, where Pinda is going to pass the ball right in the middle as if he's passing 2 people at once. This is what will kill them. You don't see this kind of turnover with the young Knicks. And like I said, when Sisegelo has the ball and shoots like that without being stopped, is going to be a problem. You want to make sure that he doesn't get to take the shot or he doesn't get to drive, because then he's able to find his players the right way. And there again, you can see that there's no proper game plan. These guys don't know what they are supposed to do next. That's Bones with another attempted three. That was an ill-timed and an ill-thought of ill-taken shot. He shouldn't have taken that shot. He was not in the right position to take the shot. But luckily for him, Vusi Mhlongo was there to get the rebound and get the foul. So right now, you're going to be expecting that if I were the coach right now, I would bring back Lwazi, and I would keep Vusi Mhlongo and the Dlamini brothers as well, and then have a different attacking plan. Right, that's a foul by Wandile Masugu. It's not going to be shooting one. They're going to take it to the side. And I can see that Banele Spogel-Kele has arrived at the Knicks table. He's their player coach. He's a very crafty player. He understands the game at a different level. And he is also one person that knows how to use the right tactics and tricks to actually keep a game right. So if I were to answer your question, the score is wide, but there's still a good 2 quarters to go. With the start-stop time, so start-stop is that every time the whistle blows, the time stops. It means there's enough time to catch up. What really needs to happen is that Jazz need to change the way they rebound. Their rebounding is terrible, despite the fact that they have the big men.
No, great stuff. In terms of formation and possibilities of those who might come in later, they normally say, why change it if it's not broken? So far, Knicks, they are doing very well. There is no need, maybe for the coach. You've highlighted how Jazz should maybe make their changes. But in terms of Knicks, would you really make any changes at this point in time from where they're standing and how they're performing so far?
Yes. What I would do is I would make sure that the Mbabane Jazz changes its defense. Right now they've been playing a man-to-man defense. They need to make a zone defense. That's a formation defense. It's the most difficult defense to penetrate. But it won't work if the Jazz do not talk to each other. But what they are doing right now, the Dlamini brothers are doing that thing that they do. They are coordinating well to find other people. And as you can see, the score has been taken down to just 9 points.
Wow. This is Eswatini TV, and we are bringing you the biggest game of the basketball history in the country, Mbabane Jazz and Mbabane Knicks. And so far, the score is increasing. We're talking about Knicks now hitting 35 points now against the so much experienced Mbabane Jazz, who are 23. Bongi has been the highlight. If we have to say MVP at this point in time, I think Bongi, in my opinion, so far, he's been the highlight of this Knicks performance. Otherwise, for Jazz, we've seen the performance of the Pinter brothers, but you will want to also wait and see what will happen in the next remaining quarters of this game. So the appearance of the coach player that you just say that has arrived for Knicks, would you say coming in, there's a lot he's going to be adding, there's a lot he's going to be changing in that Knicks side?
So Banele Spogel-Kele has the ability to hype his players properly. He knows how to hype them properly. He knows how to make them believe in themselves. The two guys I talked about, Bongi and Bonga, have really been going back and forth. You could say either one could be the MVP. I agree that the arrival of Banele Spogel-Kele might change the momentum of the game. However, like I said, and I've said this over and over again, with the Jazz, you cannot start celebrating until the game is over. However, the Mbabane Jazz needs to change its defense. If they do not change the way they are defending and pick up the pace, they are going to be chasing this game right up until the final whistle. And as you can see, the score has again grown. It's a 15-point lead now? I don't know. What's the score? 37-23. Yeah, 37-23. Right. So that score is staying like that, and it's if Mbabane Jazz do not step up, this is going to be the end result.
Now, great stuff. Now, this is how things are unfolding so far at the Mavusa Sports Center between Mbabane Jazz and Knicks, who are leading so far 37 points, beg your pardon, against 23. A lot has been said by Mr. Shiba, who's played for both sides. Experience-wise, he believes the young, talented boys of Knicks have showed what they are capable of. And so far, a lot can change in this game, but the margin so far looks so huge, so big for the Jazz side to overturn it. The crowd also looks amazing. Supporters are here in their numbers. They know, those who know the history of this fixture are already seated in the stands watching the game. So you would want to say, a lot of people are expecting. And like I was saying, the attendance of the crowd is quite exciting, especially those who have watched this game for years, who have the history, who have the experience of this game. They can tell you that between the two sides. And when I look at those people who are here, majority, they know the history of this fixture. They know that it's one of the biggest, not even, but it is the biggest game in the country. When those two sides meet, we talk about Shiba's moment at some point where when he played for both sides, what was the moments that highlighted his career, especially for the time at Jazz. I would say, what was one of his best moments of this his career at Jazz? For Knicks, at this point in time, during his moment, what really made him move from one team to other? Did he start at Jazz? Did he start at Knicks? He's going to tell us all those, great moments that he experienced as a basketball player. A great career he had, and now he's talking about the influence that he has had on some of the players. Before the team makes their return, talk about your moment at Jazz compared to the moment you at Knicks. Where did you start before you joined the other side?
So I started with the Knicks as a young player. And like I said, the Knicks was started as a high school team from St. Mark's. So it was made up mostly of St. Mark's boys. And as they finished school and started going to university out of the country, they started recruiting outside. So I started playing with them, but it was not, I couldn't fit properly into this team because they had a chemistry off the court that I wasn't a part of. They had grown up together, they'd gone to the same schools together, they went to the same church together and so on. So I was mostly a substitute player. And at the time, the Jazz needed somebody that they could use, and so they came and recruited. And I became captain for that team, and we started rebuilding. That was way back in 2001. At that point in time, none of these guys were playing at the time at Jazz. We started recruiting and building this team together. Now, my greatest moments with the Knicks used to travel quite a bit outside of the country to tournaments outside of the country, particularly in Mamelodi. I used to love doing that with them. With the Jazz, I became their coach, and I am still in Swaziland the only coach that has won a full season unbeaten. That was the 2012 Basketball League. When I was a coach for the first year, I had a team that I had put together over. I'd been captain, and then I became their coach, and it was just phenomenal to be able to play a full season without losing a single game. All right, so as we get back, you see that they've brought back Lwazi because they are going to be starting to look to shoot right now. The only problem that they have done that is a mistake with the Jazz is that they have taken out a point guard. Point guard is the guy that can control the ball and find the people and can pass them, like young Sisegelo with the Knicks. Right now they've got people that cannot control the ball as well. But what is going to happen is that Lwazi is going to come in, he's going to start shooting, and if Sam does that and gets the rebounds all the time, then they're going to be able to climb back, and as they narrow the lead to 12 points right now. But like I said, they need to be sure that Sisegelo doesn't go to the left, because every time he goes to the left, he either gets a foul or gets a basket.
Now, we're back. The two teams are now in action. 37-25. That's the difference between the two sides. Bongi looking to make one of those beautiful shots. Look at that. Oof. That was close. That was close. Amazing. Amazing. Yes, yes.
So right now, this is very, very, very telling of the Jazz being either slow or old or tired. You cannot have people come in and get a rebound in your own court. You should be protecting your own house. Now you've got a young player like Timing coming in and getting a rebound and getting another basket. That is terrible. So the Jazz really need to step up where that is concerned.
It is getting higher. It is getting tougher for this Jazz side, as like I highlighted. So much talent in this Mbabane Knicks side, as we have highlighted. And from the look of things, if they maintain their performance, we might have them as the champions of this tournament. But as Shiba requested, that few items need to be changed in this Jazz side, and they will be able to get the results. Did the ref make a right call in that position?
Absolutely, the ref made the right call. What happened right there is that Timing, number 10 for the Knicks, actually went to look for the foul. He realized that the Jazz defense was flat-footed, and so he came to them, and they only could react. And when they react, they're going to be late, and so they're going to foul him. So that call was very right. It's not the ref's fault. It is actually the Jazz defense's fault, because they were flat-footed when they could see this man charging towards their rim, right? And so basically what happened there was that Timing used his brains, and the Jazz reacted.
No, great stuff. This is Mbabane Knicks taking the shot, rebound. Oof, beautiful shot. Now, that hits them to 40 points now. The margin, I think it's getting bigger. 15 points between the two teams. Jazz trying to get back into the game. But this is beautiful. Oof. Okay, what do you think went wrong that side? That should have been inside. What do you think happened? How did he fail to put it in back?
Look, literally what happened right now is that the fact that each Jazz is getting confused. They don't know what's beating them. They don't know what they need to do. They are not able to manage it. Here's what I'll tell you. They need to bring back a point guard, that is the young number 7 that was in earlier, or Pinda, or even Sisekelo Dlamini, who's sitting on the floor wearing number 10. If they don't bring those guys in, they're going to struggle, because they are losing the ball before they even get to the basket. And when they lose that basket, the Knicks will go on the fast break. The game that the Knicks play best is the fast break. And all they got to do now is chase and foul. That is what the Jazz need to be doing. Going back, getting rebounds. What Vusi Mhlongo just did right now is all they need to do. But they are being slow with it. I don't know whether it's believing that they have control. That's a good block by Mhlongo. And that's a good rebound. Like I said, they need to get the rebounds like that. Use his size, get the rebound from these guys. But now, as you can see, Bongi decides to go and mark Bones at the top. And if Bones hadn't been aware, he would ever had lost it, or he would have turned it over. And the simple reason for that is that he is not an original point guard. He shouldn't be bringing the ball up. Somebody else that is sitting at the bench is bringing the ball up. Now you've got the two shooters, Lwazi and Bones, bring the ball up when they shouldn't be bringing the ball up. And right now, they are struggling with getting their own rebounds. This is what size matters for Fabrice. When you are big enough, you can go and get that ball, use your body to protect it, and keep it until you get fouled or you get a chance to attempt. And what Vusi Mhlongo has done right now is exactly what it should have been. But unfortunately, he's getting tired. He's asking to be subbed out. I don't know what they're going to do. Now there's Lwazi for the 3 attempt, and he didn't make it. It's really bad.
Now, it's getting tougher for Jazz, as Shiva just highlighted. Looking at the scoreline, 41 against 27. And the quickest question I would want to say, yes, it's historically one of the biggest games, but when you recall, what was the highest result between the two sides? I mean, you were at 41-27. If you recall, even during your time, the score line that surprised you when these two sides met.
There was one game I played in. We got to 100 points. I think we scored maybe 105, and the Knicks had maybe 97 or something like that. Way back when I was still a captain. It was an interesting game. Like I said, this game has been, these two rivalries, they are literally the two oldest teams remaining from the time basketball was brought into the country. So there's a huge rivalry. It's literally a Mbabane derby, if I may use a word like that. However, today it's really disappointing because as the game is flowing, you can tell that Mbabane Jazz has lost its plan or didn't have a plan and don't even know how to get it going. But there's not even much defense that the Mbabane Knicks boys are doing. It's literally that Mbabane Jazz don't have a game plan. They don't know how to get to the rim the right way. They're not using any formation. They're just hoping. It's literally a game of hope and foul. A game of hope and foul. Just like that, they fouled again. And the time is running. It's running down. These guys are still believing that they will bring it back. They are sorely missing their center, Zwandile States Vilagati. He is a dominant force. When he is in the game changes altogether because everyone knows that they have to watch out for him. Right now, they don't have that. They don't have that attacking force that they always use. It's the same as losing your best striker and then not knowing how to strike.
Great information. That is absolutely outstanding. Now, we're watching Bong at this point in time. Next one. Both of them, man. Now, they're hitting now 45 points against 27. And if you're just joining us, wondering what's happening, what are you doing? We are bringing you the biggest rivalry in the basketball history in the country. It's Mbabane Jazz and Knicks. Here are the Eswatini International Trade Fair Cup. I think proudly sponsored by Mula Sports at the tournament. So they have played a very crucial point to ensure that basketball, they are back to action. Now, when looking at Knicks, you would want to say, yes, they have the game so far. Their plan is in order. Just like you highlighted, they are confused. There is a lot of things they need to be done. But the substitutions they have made, would you say all this confusion within the team, does it rely on the coach? Or it's just a team that is not ready to perform at its best?
I would say it's a bit of both. When you haven't prepared for a game, you don't know what to do when the time comes to do something. But I think also you can count it on the players. The players are not playing with heart. They're not playing to the level that they should be playing with, and they seem to believe that they are going to make it work with just winging it. Here you can't wing it. You need to have a formation. What I'm happy about right now is the fact that Mbabane Jazz has brought in a natural point guard, somebody who can actually bring the ball up. But I don't even know if they are going to use him or they have a plan to use him. We'll see. You've got the two sharpshooters, Lwazi and... okay, so right now, let's see. They're going to shoot free throws.
Right. Let's take a short break, Sheba. When we come back, we'll give you more details about this game, the biggest fixture in the country when it comes to basketball, after the break. All right, we're back and we're still here at the Mafuso Sports Center where we're bringing you the game between Mbabane Jazz and Mbabane Knicks, one of the biggest rivalry in the basketball history in the country. I'm joined by Shiba, one of the legend of the sport in the country. Talking about a legend, he's played for both sides. He's played for both teams. And him having played for both teams, end up even coaching some of the players that we are watching here, especially from Knicks. as far as they are concerned. I heard your comment shortly say it's a clean slaughtery here. They're just killing them.
It's not even a struggle. Like it's amazing. Like we expected fireworks. Like you've been saying. This is the oldest rivalry. The Jazz is a very, very, very organized and experienced team. We expected it going to be back and forth, hardcore. But right now, these guys are walking all over the old men. They are doing what they want to do. They are basically using anybody at any given time. I will say that at some level, I feel like the coach is also not sure what he wants, what he expects of them. And that is a travel from Pinda. A very rare mistake from this player. You don't expect to see that kind of thing happen with him. The score has been taken down to just 17 points or 18 points, 17 points. It's a really worrying situation, and now they're not even stopping that guy. He has made so many threes, and he's still shooting without anyone contesting it. There's Loazi on the breakaway, and he misses an easy layup. This is where you realize this team is not taking it seriously. They don't want to win. They are tired, or whatever it is that is happening with them, or by a Kobosa, whatever the case may be. They have literally considered their loss. Now, you get these guys attempting the way they want, getting their own rebounds. The Knicks is doing whatever they want on the court. It's a sad show. It's a really, really poor showing by the Mbabane Jazz. It's a really, really poor showing, and I don't know what it is that this coach needs to do to change this momentum. And as everyone usually says, the Jazz will come back. There doesn't look like there will be a comeback here, and even if they try a comeback, they will probably be very late in getting it back. They're bringing in back Vusi Mhlongo. What they need to do right now is to go to Vusi Mhlongo for as many points as possible. It is the easiest way for them to get baskets or get them to foul. Because all you need to do right now is to get the people that are playing too much defense. As you can see, there are two people on Vusi Mhlongo. There is the two people that are playing hardcore defense. If you get the two of them on foul trouble, then they can't defend it. It's that simple. Okay, so it looks like Pinda was fouled on the shot. He's going to shoot two. If he makes those two, he brings the game within lower point digits. But right now, the Jazz look like they are really ready to go to bed.
All right. Now, how do you see the score? If, in as much as so far the game is just shying away from them, but how would you predict the score in terms of the margin between the two sides?
So, with the third quarter almost done, you can expect that the Jazz is going to come hard at it, but they are literally 18 points down. And it's not like even if they cover the 18 points, it's not like Knicks will be just standing there. The Knicks will still be coming for them. So right now you've got a 17-point lead. They need to step up on their defense. The one thing that the Mbabane Jazz is not doing is communicating on defense. They are letting the other men score. As long as my man hasn't scored, it's okay. That is not team sport. That is individual and selfish basketball. And that is what they are playing right now. What the Knicks is doing is they are communicating. They are going to everyone. They trust everyone. They are using everyone as an option. And that's what's working for them. And it's sad to see when Jazz being the most experienced team. Now, you cannot let Bonga be alone like that when he has hit so many threes already. Now, let's see how it comes back. Like I said, there's a hope for them to come back at it. Great work by Vusi. I think Vusi and Samgeliso, number 15 and number 10, are coordinating very well as big men, and they should go to them and trust them more. Now, Sam was late in getting to stop timing. Timing knew, because they were flat-footed again, as I mentioned earlier, that if he drives, they're going to fail to stop him, and they're going to get the foul. Vusi was flat-footed in the right way because he was drawing a charge, but Sam responded and went and got a foul. And just like that, there's a chance for the Knicks to step this thing back up. to this 18 points as it has been the whole time. The truth of the matter is this game is almost looking like it's going to the Knicks. With a little experience that we know of the Jazz, that they cannot be written off until the last whistle. At this point, you are believing that it's going to, it might get, and it's not going to be. I was still saying, knowing that the Jazz cannot be written off, you might have a hope for the fourth quarter. There's very little hope, though. Let's watch.
As you let's watch. Let's watch. A lot is happening. Now I'm looking at the difference between the two sides. 50 against 33. Difference of 17 points. That's how much, or rather that's how hard Jazz should work to ensure that they recover. Now, let's look at the 2 points. Maybe we're about to take a look at here. Yes?
With this 17 points, you will have seen in the last 2 plays, looking at Pinda right now, the way he's standing, he is switching on his lethal side. He is deciding that he's going to carry this game by himself if he needs to, because he can see that just looking at the body language alone and the way he has attacked twice, you can tell he's looking at that score, he's looking at him, his focus has changed. He now wants to win this game. Unfortunately, he needs to switch everybody else on.
I mean, we still have time. I'm looking at the score line. I'm looking at the time. I mean, a lot is happening. But definitely, Knicks are doing the most. They're doing what they were brought to do in this game. I mean, earlier on, I asked you, Shiva, what was the one of the biggest score? And you highlighted that it was 100. And I'm looking at Knicks have already hit 50. So is there a possibility they can also get to 100?
Not today. If you're going to get to 50, if you're going to get to 100, you should be somewhere in the 50s in the second quarter. This is the third quarter. If they keep this momentum, you can expect them to get to 70, maybe. But like I said, the fourth quarter is usually the Jazz quarter. So the likelihood is that they're going to suffocate the points coming from the Knicks right now. But the Knicks is expecting that because their player coach played with the Jazz. He knows the spirit. He knows what to expect, right? So one other thing that the Knicks need to do and the Jazz need to do is to stop talking. They keep talking. They keep watching. They keep watching what the refs call. They complain with every shot. All right, the score right now is 52-34. It's a very wide margin to expect in a final. It's not what we expected of this game. There's something lethargic. There's something wrong with the Jazz camp. They definitely didn't plan for this game the way they should have.
You've been a coach. You know the team. You know the ins and out of the team. What kind of information or message would you be giving the players, especially Jazz, at this point in time?
What I would do right now is I would change this man defense that they're using because it is not working. I would go to a strong zone defense. I would put Vusi Mhlongo in the middle and have him talk to the players and tell them where to go, and when not to go. I would definitely make sure that Tando, the other big man that has come in from SA, the number 4, is on the court as well, and then maybe even Sam at this point in time, so that they would have a strong rebound presence at the top. I would keep Lwazi on, and then I would keep Pinda on. If I don't get Sam in, I would bring back Pinda's brother Jabulo because the two coordinate very well. And I would suffocate the way they drive to the basket and the way they get the rebounds. However, I would have one man stay on Bonga because he's the one that has been threatening and shooting the threes right now. Once you do that, you get the rebounds, you change the game. If you do not play defense, you're not going to win the game. Offense may win a game. Defense wins championships. And right now they're looking for a championships. They need to strengthen their defense. So right now what I would have done is I would have brought in Jabulo instead of Bones, number 12, and then you have a strong presence on the athleticism and rebound presence.
Right. Now, that's how things so far are. 52-34. The margin getting quite big. We're talking about a difference of roughly 18 points. So it is quite... Oof. what a shot, but I couldn't get it inside. Jazz has really to work hard. They have to work hard if they are to be back into this game. And so far, as Mr. Shibe just said, the difference is such huge. And I've also noted the issue of, bringing the game to their own capacity. I mean, there's the issue of selfishness. Everyone wants to do what they want. I'm looking at the body language of Loazi. I can do this. I mean, everyone here wants to do things by themselves. But that should change if they are to maintain the performance in this game.
Like I said, Pinda's going to be taking this ball hard and going to them, but he's doing it alone, right? When he passes the other guys, they are still flat-footed. They're not ready for the ball. It doesn't look like that. So at some point, leadership will come from somebody who has decided he cannot handle losing. And like I said, Pinda is going to start looking for everyone. That was a very poor call by the ref. When the player, even if it is a Jazz player, is down, you do not stop an offensive move until such a time that they're coming back to his offense, because then he can't defend. Right now, that ref has stopped a potential basket that Jazz would have made. It is a defensive call. It is a poor call by the ref. He should have let the play go on. And Jazz, if they had scored, then he would stop the game, because then he has to take care of the player that has to play defense. It is not a problem if they cannot offend, but it is a problem if they cannot defend. So that was a very, very poor call. But the refs will probably be able to justify it and let the game flow. Going back to the game, what needs to happen is that 2-3 players at Jazz need to coordinate and play together and be offensive, and then the game will change. At this point in time, it's very difficult to tell who is ready for that. And they're bringing in back Tando, who seems to be tired from traveling. He should have, right now, he played with this Jazz team for a long time, and he has an MVP at some games in the Basketball South Africa League. So there was a lot expected from him, but it doesn't look like he was ready for it today. And like I said, the Mbabane Jazz look very lethargic. Now, going back to the game, we're talking about the Jazz because they are the ones that are struggling. There's nothing to take away from the Knicks. They really have brought their game. They are playing calmly. They are sharing the ball with everybody. Everybody that is open, that can take a shot, is given a chance to take a shot. It doesn't look the same with the Jazz. It looks like they're still looking for one particular player or two particular players, where they should be looking at the next possible person. But then again, if you don't have a proper formation, you're going to struggle because you don't know where you want to go.
Wow, it is getting exciting. Next on the counter move. Yeah, I stepped outside. I think the ref was just next to him, so the call was spot on. So maybe just to bring the viewer, to the game itself. Who to you, in terms of Jazz, who do you think is having a bad day and why? And then we look at the likes of Bobongi. I think he's having a good day. And why?
Right, so one of the things that happens with Mbabane Jazz is that they tend to talk too much. They question every play instead of playing basketball, right? So right now, even with this call, it may not have been a call that makes sense, but it is a call that happened. They need to move on and just go back and play. Who is having a bad day? I would say Bones is having a bad day, number 12. He isn't seeing the rim the way he's supposed to. And the simple reason he's not seeing the rim is that the Knicks know he's a sharpshooter. So they are making sure that they're stopping him, right? And what needs to happen is the Mbabane Jazz need to keep him open, find a way to open him up, right? Who else is having a bad day? Pinda is having a bad day. He is struggling because he has that winner mentality. He wants to win so hard. He's now making poor decisions. He's taking the ball where he shouldn't be. Jabulo is having a bad day because he hasn't scored a single basket where he's one of the most prolific scorers. But I tell you who's having a bad day the most at Jazz. It is the coach, because he is lost. He doesn't know what to do. And of course, it's making it very difficult for the whole Jazz contingent and his fans and the family to struggle, where they have always won for so many times. Let's see what happens from this. As a great pass from Pinda, he rushed it. It's the wrong person to pass ahead. You do not pass Loazi ahead, you pass it to the hand, because Loazi will say it was not for me when he knows it was for him. So that was the kind of situation that you're going to have. So literally, the whole Jazz team is having a bad day.
All right, thank you very much, Sheba. As now there's a timeout here at the Mavuso Sports Center. The two sides showing a great game from these two sides. The two sides showing a good game from the experience. And one can tell is that Knicks looking very, very strong. They are making the right decisions. There's communication within the team. And to you, Sheba, who would you say now is having a good day at the Knicks side, and why is he having a good day?
So right now, the Knicks are all having a great game together. Bonga and Bongi have had really great moments. They've done great flashes, and they've fed everybody. They've made everybody confident. Sisegelo, as usual, calm and slow and very composed, is not struggling with anything. He's still able to do whatever he wants, even though they have made him stop. They haven't really neutralized him. I would say the person that is having the greatest game here today is actually Timing Tandem Kajwa, number 10, because he's actually a new recruit for this tournament. He doesn't actually play with the Knicks generally, but he's playing today, and he's actually enjoying his game today. And the ability to draw fouls whenever he wants to draw fouls, the ability to step up whenever he wants and take on people like Vusim Mhlongo, that would give you a great game as a player. The thing that I see right now is the fact that the Mbabane Jazz have started to lose hope. They started to stop believing. And if Loazi is starting to make shots like that and missing them, then it's a big problem. Bongi is injured. I think there was a scuffle right there between him and Jabulo. It was an unintentional situation. They just bumped into each other as they jumped for the rebound. But Bongi will lie down on that floor and milk it because he is getting a bit of rest, and it helps to stop the flow of the Jazz, who are starting to gain momentum again. So these are also tactics of some sort. You lie down to kind of get them to calm down. The truth of the matter is, as the Jazz are complaining, if a player lies down on the floor, he is supposed to be subbed out and then come back later.
Great. It is the game between Mbabane Jazz and Knicks here at the Mavuso Sports Center. Tell you what, this is one of the biggest rivalry in the basketball history in the country. And when those two teams have met, or when the two teams are playing, it's always exciting. It is always a pleasure to see them. There is a bit of communication between Vusi and the ref. In your opinion, Sheba, do you think ref is making the right calls? What happened between him and Vusi? Why is he? There was negotiations. What was happening?
Really, the truth of the matter is, if a player has been lying on the floor, he's supposed to be pulled out, but only if the bench has come in. The bench didn't come in. The players were there just watching over the player. So that then means that the ref is right in not taking the player out, because no one from the bench came in. But if someone from the bench comes in, then the player has to be taken out and start over. Now, why Vusi is making this a big deal, because it doesn't change the flow of the game, shows the frustration of the players. They are now deciding to go through the rules instead of, like I said, you cannot leave Sisegelo alone. He is known to hit the three. It was the first basket he made today, and you're still standing there and letting him shoot. Mbabane Jazz came here to lose today.
A quick one now in terms of results. So far, 55 in favor of Knicks against 38 of Jazz. And in the history, like Shiba highlighted it earlier on, is that we only had a moment where the two teams, especially Chess, hitting 100 points. Is it possible today? No, he said from the look of things, it's not possible. But his biggest prediction was to say that Knicks are capable of doing 70. When you look, you see what Bobonge are doing in the field, you will probably say that biggest score tonight could be 70-75.
If they did well, that would get to the 70s. But you are going to be very long with time. But it doesn't look like they can get to the 70s. But they will get to 60-65. They may get to 70 with 3 minutes. That's a possibility. The truth of the matter is, with 3 minutes to go, this game is kind of decided. This Jazz team has lost all courage right now. They don't even know. They don't know what hit them. They don't know how to come back. You can see flashes of fighting spirit, but it is not a team effort. The coaches are sitting there dejected. The players are, they don't know. They literally don't know. They're just fighting they're fighting to the last fight, but they don't even know how to fight it. If I was coaching this team, I would have taken a timeout and I've given it a hard talking to and told them, you know what, maybe let's just go home. We don't want to win today. Let's give them the trophy and let's sit down. Maybe that would have changed it. I don't know. But at this point in time, it's really sad to see such a dynasty, the Jazz dynasty, come down to this kind of thing. However, for Swaziland basketball, this is also exciting because finally a younger team is stepping up to be the team that is older. By all sports laws, you shouldn't have old men at the age of 40 winning all tournaments. It shouldn't be that way. It should be such that younger players are able to dethrone the big guys, which is what this Knicks is doing, and wonderfully so, if I might add. As sad as it is for me as a player and as a Jazz lover, this is what basketball should be. If you are not training as the older team, you cannot rely on your athleticism. And these younger players are using everything they have in athleticism. There's a reply, there's a miss. It is still going to be a hard fight because now this is a 12-point lead. It's come down to 12 points. It was even bigger. So let's see. And right there's a turnover. It's going back. It's going back to the Knicks. They need to step up. Literally, all that needs to happen is Jazz needs to step up on defense in the last 2 minutes.
Now, last 2 minutes, there should be a new scoreline, of course. The difference now is 12 points, 59 against 47. We're looking at Bonge at this point in time. We want to see what his movement. Wow, that was close. That was close. But still,
like I was saying, Fabrice, you cannot have your big man standing there and letting a younger player get a rebound. What is your role then? If you cannot get the rebound, what is your role? Literally, like I said, it would get to the late 60s. This game is going to go to maybe 65, 68. But with 1.4 to go, this game is decided.
You've heard it from the man who's played for both sides. The game is decided. As you can see, the remaining time is quite reasonable. 61, 47. The margin is quite, 14 points. And I think just coming to this tournament, they wanted it more than Knicks. But the young athleticism of this Knicks side has showed quality. There is togetherness in this team. Unlike the other side where it's all about, can I do it? Can I deliver? And I think what we've watched so far has been quite amazing. You would want to know what maybe the coach is saying to the Jazz side. But for your Knicks, they know what they have to do to contain them for the remaining time. But information is being delivered to the team. But one critical point that you've made is that let's just forget other things. Let's just be a team. There is a lot of, everyone wants to win. There's frustration. Players are agitated. And that is not the character that you should bring in a game of this magnitude.
You know what? The idea of thinking that you're going to catch up a little later is not always going to work. Like I did say earlier, if you want to beat the Jazz, beat them at the beginning. This score is now, the Jazz have found a way to narrow it down, but the Knicks had opened it up long before. So even when they narrow it down, they're going to narrow it down to 5 point. Within a 5-point difference, it will still be a win for the Knicks. You said the Knicks wanted it more. I mean, the Jazz wanted it more. No, the Knicks definitely wanted it more. It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear that the Knicks have wanted it more. They have more heart. They are more organized. They have a better plan. It's that simple. And right now they're arguing about something which is not need. That doesn't need an argue. Maibonga Sinkala was driving in, number 7, and the player cut in a little too late. It's called a blocking foul, but the Knicks are looking for a charging foul. But he hadn't set himself up right at the time. So it should be Maibonga Sinkala either shooting 2 or the Jazz taking it from the side. Again, if I was a player inside, I would not be standing like this, listening to the refs discuss. I would be talking about what we're going to do next. And just now the decision has been reversed. It has been given to the Knicks as a charging foul. And that's where you know the Knicks came here to win. This game has already been decided. Maibonga Sinkala has had 5 fouls. That means he's out of the game for the rest of the game.
All right. That is how things are standing currently. The Knicks, they are leading, and so far looks like they're walking away with a victory in today's game. One of the biggest games, like we highlighted. I mean, it's been a wonderful 10 days here at the Trade Fair. We talk about different sporting courts, techball, netball, basketball, football, and it's been so interesting. I'm trying to read the crowd, Sheba. The excitement from the Jazz supporters. They have belief that their team can return and be back to winning ways. Do you agree with the supporters, or it's just the motivation of loving your team to say they can do it, but from the look of things, they can't. Time is against them.
Look, this game has been decided. There is no way that the Jazz is going to come back. This is all for the love of the team. Everyone is feeling like they want to love them. So now you can see, what you can see right now is that the coach has changed the defense. He's now forcing them. They're defending full court. That means now they're trying to make sure that the Knicks don't even get across. It's the right defense to call. It is late at this point in time. With 45 seconds to go, all that's going to happen is that the Jazz players are going to foul. And there's nothing that they can do. But it's working. And wait for the final whistle, yes. So right now, it's, as you can see, it's working, but it's a little too late because with 12 points to go, it's very difficult. What they would need to do right now with 32 seconds is to hit 4 threes without the Knicks scoring. And that is very, very, very difficult. And there's a turnover from Lwazi. He changed his mind, he held the ball and then let go again. And just like that, he lost it. And now he's going to go talk to the ref instead of playing defense. And all 3 are talking to the ref instead of playing defense. And that is the frustration. They just received a technical foul. That technical foul is going to cost them because now it means that the Knicks players are going to go shoot free throws for free and still get possession. With 28 seconds to go, that means they can hold the ball for 24 seconds until the game is over. This game is done. The Jazz need to go back to the drawing board and plan again. They definitely have.
The frustration. Why so much frustration?
Lwazi is a winner. Unfortunately, he wants to win by talking to the refs instead of marshalling his team as the captain. This game, and as you can hear, the fans are now singing the goodbye song. It literally means you are done. There's nothing that you can do. Now, the Knicks have brought in the one guy who is a sure shooter. Like, he takes these shots like it's home. He will make both with ease without a problem. Oh, it's one. It's one shot for the technical foul, and then after that, they get the possession. Now, when they take that ball for possession, all they need to do is to hold it for a full 14 seconds, 24 seconds. Hold it for a full 24 seconds, and there will be only 4 seconds left. And that's a foul by Lwazi again. He definitely blocked timing, which holds the game at 23. If I was Jazz at this point in time, I would let them score, and then I'll take the ball and keep it until the clock runs out. That's sportsmanship. That is you showing that you accept defeat.
Lost, yeah. Wow. Great information from Shiba. We're talking about 23 seconds, and Knicks are a few seconds away from that so much wanted victory. And if one was to look at maybe the previous fixture last time when they met, would you say maybe Knicks coming to the game, were they revenging? They wanted the win so much.
So the Knicks came back from the last tournament that they played, having won a hard game with the Jazz, one that they didn't expect to win. They came back with confidence. But what they did is they actually studied. Oh, that's the first miss of a free throw from Sisegelo, something that you don't expect to see quite often. I can bet my last dollar that he's going to make the next one because he just knows how to shoot these. He's a high percentage free throw shooter. And let's see how he goes through it. And there you go, like I said. So the Knicks came here with a game plan. They knew what was going to happen. This is what you should do as the Jazz. Accept that the game is over and go and shake hands. This is how you accept a defeat graciously. It is a sad loss for the Jazz, but it's an eye-opener as well. And maybe the dawn of a new era. The Jazz have dominated using old man for a long time. And maybe now is the time for them to start recruiting and get younger players and maybe train together and not rely on experience alone. Otherwise, this has been Bongani Shiba co-signing and co-analyzing with Fabrice Musonera. This has been quite an interesting game if you look at the fact that the odds were against Knicks, knowing them.
Wow, the legend was in the house. Thank you very much, Bongani Shiba, for your analysis, information, your expertise to be alongside me, bringing you the game between Mbabane Jazz and Mbabane Knicks. Finishing the final results here, it's Mbabane Knicks 65 against 51 of Mbabane Jazz. So they are the champions of this Trade Fair Cup, being Mbabane Knicks. And the young, talented boys shows that once there is a return of a tournament, be it a league or anything, they will show you strength. Otherwise, from me, Fabrice Musonera, and the entire technical team that I was with here at the Mafsa Sports Center, Charibo Bembe, Nogwazi, Lamine, and the rest, we do say, Sidhara Gamnanzi.